college.
Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, in Christ Radio. We're your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. I didn't tell Amanda we're syndicated, so you're basically all over the world at this point. And also, you can find us on our podcast. That's Net News Network. .net, and several thousand people are watching that. You can't make Amanda nervous anyway. What am I talking about? Amanda Joy Powell is with us right now. Hey, Amanda, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Ms. Donna?
I'm doing great. You know, something, we air your music on this radio station, and something else, Amanda, I don't know if you knew this or not, but we're actually listener-based. Our listeners are the boss of us. They actually tell us what to play. And so what happens is you can go to icradio.media, that's the website, and download the app if you'd like to do that as well. You can find us on Apple or Android, and just download IC Radio Media. And what happens is all you have to do is just type in Amanda's name, Amanda Joy Powell, so she's listed, and you'll get a list of her music, and then you'll just be able to request music at your will. So it's a little bit different here, Amanda. And what I mean by that is what might be number one with another radio station, our listeners may like altogether a whole new song. So you just never know. So there you go. So talk to us, what is Amanda Joy Powell all about? Describe your music.
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out. I just got into music 3 or 4 years ago. I am so brand new at this. I was a busy mom, wife of 19 years, business owner, and God started pouring music through me, I think because he knew I was living off of experiences from 10 years ago and not daily seeking the word of God. So I really think that God gave me the songwriting bug because he knew I really needed it. I needed daily time with my, and I met this wonderful lady, you'll know her name, Hannah Turner West. And she became a wonderful mentor and actually became my producer. So this is new for me. I don't feel like I belong on your radio program right now because I'm pretty normal. There's nothing, crazy exciting about my life, except that the fact that God's working through it and doing some pretty amazing.
Well, that's why you're here, because you are normal. Well, and that's what it takes.
Well, it's been an exciting journey. The song that's out right now, Old Time Believer, I actually wrote for my kids. I started writing worship music. I've been a worship leader for about 26 years, and I really love writing worship music. But this one I wrote for my kids, and it's pretty special to me. It's straight, like the chorus is straight out of the Bible. It's John 3:16, God so loved the world, and then Romans 10:9, confess with your mouth and believe in your heart. And it just became their bedtime story for about a year until Andy was like, you need to get this on a CD. Other people like it too. So the ball just started rolling, and here I am.
That's amazing. So what was written for your kids is written for the whole world at this point. So what are some of the lyrics? Read some of the lyrics to us, or sing it if you would like.
I'm not sure my speakers are good enough to do that justice, but I turned it into a story. I did not grow up listening to country music or to Southern gospel. I grew up as a missionary kid out in the boondocks of Canada with no electricity, a generator for a little bit. So as a Mennonite family, we used to sing 4-part harmony, and that's what I grew up on. So the fact that I wrote a song that's a little Southern gospel country just tickles me pink because that's not my normal genre. But the chorus is just, this is the gospel truth, confess and believe, that's what you do, take from this old time believer. And it's just a reminder that if you believe in Christ, you're an old time believer and you have a story worth telling. That's worth shouting off the rooftops because everybody wants to hear some good news. And boy, do we have the market on good news to share.
Absolutely you do, because all we hear is bad stuff. In fact,
Oh, I know.
don't listen to the news all day. I mean, you have to know what's going on in the world. But if you sit there and listen to it all day, it'll drive you crazy. I mean, you'll think there's no hope, but there is hope.
There is. We just have to actually talk about it a little bit more. So that was my challenge to my kids, and that's where this song and the lyric came about.
Mm-hmm. Now, how different is the music you used to sing Mennonites? How different is that from Sacred Harp music? Because my grandmother sang Sacred Harp, and it's 4-part. I mean, you know, they have no musical instruments; they just sing, and they face.
So they sing a cappella.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends what Mennonite church you go to. There's some liberal and conservatives. We sing a cappella, but we also sing with instruments sometimes. We still sing contemporary too. That's just because I have a heart for contemporary as well. Mm-hmm. But it's all the old hymns, you know, Amazing Grace, Come Thou Fount, all the good old traditional ones. They hold deep meaning. It's hard to find songs with those deep meanings of today. So that's a challenge when you write new music to make it theologically correct, because you're singing theology, to make it new and fresh, but not whimsical. You know, you're still singing stuff that has to have meat to it. Mm-hmm. So I've been learning a lot.
So I grew up in the 1970s, and so there was a song back, and it was, you know, it was on the radio. It was a popular song. It was called House of the Rising Sun. But my grandmother sang Sacred Harp songs, and Amazing Grace sounded a lot like the tune from House of the Rising Sun. And I would tell my grandmother, would say, "Yeah, you're singing Amazing Grace just like House of the Rising Sun." And she would say, "What's that?" And I would say, "Well, it's on the radio." And she would say, "You don't need to be listening to that kind of music." But it sounds just like it. It's just that you're singing Amazing Grace tune, you know, to it. And sometimes, I mean, it's a good way to get the word out.
Yeah,
because I really listened to that one more than I did the regular rendition of Amazing Grace, because it sounded like House of the Rising Sun.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But what they do is they would set like soprano, alto, bass, and then tenor, and they set it's like this group, and the acoustics are really good. I think it's because they were singing like right within that circle, and it gave it a really good sound. I always loved it. I might be losing Amanda. It looks like she's in frozen screen. Amanda, you're in frozen screen. My name is Donna.
I am. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you, but you're frozen screen. But at least it's a good picture. You'll be proud of that. You'll be proud of the picture. You will.
Oh my!
So, so it did get you in a good spot. So I'm talking with Amanda Joy Powell, and she's a musician, she's a songwriter and a singer and what have you. You know, writing songs, writing music, just, I mean, it amazes me. People have that kind of talent. It's a God thing, definitely. So you write the music as well as the words? I mean, is it all accompanied?
Yeah, lyric, melody. Hannah has an amazing way with production. She'll, you know, might suggest, you know, I hear trumpets here. What do you think? And I'm like, oh, that could work. But I've also been learning, like I said, I'm still very new with it. I've only started writing 4 years ago, and I had my first song come out 2.5 years ago. That was a Christmas song called This Child of Bethlehem. And Hannah's been teaching me how to search for the inspiration, not just wait for the God moments of instant download. Oh, wow, thanks, Lord. But actually having an idea, a hook, and going to the Bible and saying, what does God say about this? What would God like me to write a song? And that's been really neat, because that's opened a whole new world where I can write faster, not just sitting there twiddling my thumbs saying, okay, I'm waiting for another song, what you got, but actually looking for it. And that's been a game changer.
I think you got that right because sometimes I know a lot of folks who maybe they've written one song in their lifetime, and it was pretty good, but then they're waiting on God to just like lightning bolt comes down and they get this idea, but we have to put a little work into it and a lot of effort into it as well.
Yeah, but you hit right on the nose. It's work, and as fun as songwriting is, to be effective, I have to look at it a little bit like a job. Put the effort in, put the time in, be diligent with my time. And I gotta say, as a mother of 3 and a wife and a business owner, that's really hard. I'm actually at work right now, and I just put a sign on the door saying, Zoom conference call, 30 minutes, doors will reopen, because I'm kind of playing double duty today as my employee's on vacation. But time management is huge, especially when you have a family and ministry. And to keep those in the correct order is also a challenge. I firmly believe God first, family second, ministry third, because at the end of the day, my children and my husband, those were given to me as my first field of ministry. And I have to be faithful in that for chasing the other gifts God has given me. But it's a struggle. I'm still human and I mess up all the time and I need reminders. So I've given my church congregation full authority to point things out and be my accountability partners, and that's been really
awesome. I'm going back to my first management job. I was a very young and very green 25-year-old, and I'll tell you, I almost got burned out. I had a son, he was young, and so she said, we need to chat. We need to sit down and talk. This was my boss. And I said, I'm doing my job right. And she said, you're going a little bit overboard. She said, you're about to burn out. And I said, what do you mean I'm about to burn out? I'm doing my job. She said, no. God comes first, family, then the job. Exactly like you just said.
Wow.
And I was like, this is a huge company. I can't believe she's saying that, And she said, no, you're going to be worthless because you're going to burn out. And you're not going to be able to do your job if you don't do it in the right timing. It's got to be done exactly right. She said, something, you got a young kid and your young kid is going to be hurt on this. And when he grows up and you can't handle him anymore because he's so unruly, it'll be because you didn't put God and family first.
Yeah. And a lot of mothers will understand that it's hard. We know that in our head, we know that in our heart, but sometimes the practicality of chasing a dream can sometimes seem so important that the urge to just, I'll spend time with them later. I have to daily fight that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
absolutely.
Just reality.
I think as women, we beat on ourselves a lot. I think we just beat ourselves into the ground because we want to be perfect in every single thing we do, and we can't. First of all, we're humans. We're not going to be perfect. I mean, you try to be the best you can be. Amanda, we have to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a minute. Everybody hang in there, okay? Great interview. We'll be right back. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a My Pillow or not, you need to get the brand new My Pillow 2.0. Call or go to mypillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring.
but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundance Television, syndicated worldwide by using Apple, Amazon Fire, and other ways. Oh, and don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. I have Amanda Joy Powell with me right now. She's a singer, songwriter, business owner. Tell us about your business, Joy. Amanda Joy.
You're going to laugh. When
anybody says that, when I say you can laugh, I just start laughing.
Yeah, we sell prefabricated sheds, Old Hickory brand, and lots of build prefabricated. We used to be farmers, and we loved that, but we were dirt poor, couldn't pay the bills. And at a certain point, my husband was like, "This isn't working. Let's see what God has planned." And we thought we were going to move to Canada, and that not work out. We're back for 2 years waiting for that paper to come in, and my husband's like, "This door is not being opened. It's being slammed shut. Take a hint." And he was at the gas station one day with his big truck, and a friend of a friend pulls over and says, "Hey, you got any use for that truck? I could use you." So he started hauling buildings for Old Hickory, and within 2 years we had bought our first shed lot, and then a year later bought our second one. So I love what I do. The creator in me comes out. If I'm not creating songs, then I'm here at the shop creating blueprints. for people and helping other people's dreams become a reality. So it still scratches the itch to create and design, even if it's not music. And now we've got a total of 4 employees that keep things running. So I can mostly do the administration from home 3 days a week. And those are my songwriting days where I try to put into that creative side. And yeah, it's good. And that also pays for me to do my music.
I think it's a wonderful thing because as Christians, I mean, we're constantly, because we're having to be rebuilt all the time. I mean, I know I am. I mean, I'm constantly messing up. So, God gives me enough grace, thank God for the grace, because I would be torn out. I mean, I would just be tossed away to sea somewhere. But I think it's inside us. We get things and we want to create. And I know I'm a jewelry designer as well.
Oh,
and
fun.
They give me like their grandmother's old jewelry, and they say it's not really me. Can you make it me? And so it's like I get to recreate things, and I love that part. I love it. I mean, it's just where you're taking, and we're on a farm too, and so my husband's constantly finding. We bought my grandparents' old farmhouse with 38 acres, and it's been quite the challenge. But it's something we get to create. And I think God likes for us to use our minds that way. And you get to do it 2 ways. You get to do it with your business and with music. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. For music, it really started, there's a verse in Psalms 96:1. It says, "Sing to the Lord a new song." And that really spoke volumes to me, just like what you're saying right now. I don't think it was a verse saying contemporary verse hymns or whatever. I really believe that God wants us to have new experience every single day to praise Him about. And that's neat. That God wants us to have something fresh every single day, whether it's music or a relationship with Him or just new experience with kids, family. Wrote a song about that. You find inspiration everywhere.
Especially if you're a mom. So how old are your kids?
15, 13, and 11.
You don't look like it.
Wow. Thank you. I'm 42. I occasionally get gray hairs, and they come in like straight unicorn horns. They're not curly. It's just this. All of a sudden, I see this 4-inch gray hair and a unicorn horn. I'm like, well, that just happened.
Mine started out in a blotch. I mean, it was just this weird, like on one side, only gray.
Okay.
So I totally get it. Let's talk about, because this world is just all torn up. I mean, it's just what was good is bad now, and what's bad now is good according to the world. And it's got to be tough raising kids in a world like that. I hope you're homeschooling. Do you homeschool?
No, I tried that for kindergarten, and I found out a lot about myself. Not all of it was positive. I found out that I was more this is what you need to do, so sit down, be quiet, and do it. And I wasn't very fun. Both my parents are educators, so they made it look easy. Dad taught high school, and mom homeschooled us until high school. And then we went to a Christian school that was like 24 kids, K through 12, really tiny. But I loved it. So I tried homeschool. It wasn't for me. And that's when we started getting into hauling shed. I started working here, kind of a part-time job to pay for private. Because you can send kids into public school and they can be strong Christians. It really makes your job as a parent 3 times harder. And I wasn't sure that I had that time to invest. So for us, we made the decision, well, work an extra part-time job, pay for private ed, and it's been fantastic. I mean, we live in the middle of nowhere. We're kind of out in the country in Richmond, like between, Charlottesville, Lynchburg, and Richmond. So there's a stop sign and there's a grocery store, and that's about it. But there happens to be an amazing private school, CVCS, and we love it. Our 2 oldest have graduated from there already because they only go to grade 8. Because our youngest is still in. And it's been such a blessing having teachers that have your back, that reinforce the role of parenthood, that you're the authority. We're not sending our kids off to be babysat. They're held accountable, and it's growing really strong kids, which makes our job a little bit. not that we're looking for a cop out on parenting, but there's a difference when you have people that walk alongside you and reinforce what you do. And
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the exact same thing. So my son now is like 44 years old. But we went through this situation where, and I just got all strung out because the teacher one day, is the math teacher, said my son needed a calculator for school. And I'm like, back in my olden days in the 70s, that was considered cheating. As a matter of fact, when I was going to school, you could be expelled for bringing in a calculator. And so I told the teacher, and I said, what's this about Brad having to have a calculator at school? Is that not cheating? And I'm thinking he's making this up because he wants a calculator. And she said, no, he has to have a calculator for math. And I said, no, that's cheating. I can't see that. And so I took him out, and I didn't want to homeschool because I was afraid I'd mess him up. So I said, it's probably not a good thing for me to homeschool.
No, that feeling.
I put my son in a private school too. It's a Christian school, Trinity Christian Academy in Oxford, Alabama. Fantastic school, great teachers. And I was like you, they had my back. You're the parent, don't bring and they would make it really plain with people bringing their kids in. We don't want to babysit your kids. They're here to learn something. You're going to get mad at us from time to time because we're going to be strict and we're going to put their nose to the grindstone. And I said, sounds perfect to me. And it wound up being a good thing.
Well, my husband's favorite line to say is, we're not raising kids, we're raising. And what kind of adults we want to leave in this world. And I very much understand there's different ways to parent, and there's no right and wrong. I'm not ashamed. But we're pretty strict parents. They only get, on school days, they can get 30 minutes of media after they've done their chores. And if they've been nasty to each other, that's okay too. And
you're the parent,
it's
right?
Just, I'm the parent. I supposedly have control over. So but we've got good kids, and sometimes I wonder why, because I mess up on parenting a lot. But I think that shows the grace of God. Even though I mess up, He has.
I think so too.
Despite my imperfections, my kids have to make their own decisions, and they have their own.
I think you just hit the nail right on the head. I know I grew up had friends who would say, I'm friends with my kids and all this kind of stuff. And it just didn't seem to make sense that I would be friends with my kids. I've got to give them instruction. And so wound up really being now Brad and I are like friends, but he's grown up. He's out on his own now. So, and I've got a wonderful daughter-in-law, and that's a wonderful addition to our lives as well. But I'm going to tell you what, when they're kids, they need instruction, just like we need instruction from God. That's a song. You need to write that one too.
Probably should.
That'd be a really good song. Okay, Amanda, less than a minute left in this segment. I told you time would fly. What would you like to tell everybody before we go?
Let God work something great through you. You don't have to be perfect. Just be empty and let God fill you, and you're going to do amazing things. And nobody who's somewhat different, maybe just a little bit.
I love that. That's another song. Let us be empty and let Him handle it. Because anytime I try to handle it, it's always messed up. So we need to handle it. Absolutely. Amanda, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been a pleasure. Let's do this often.
Thank you so much. It's great talking to you, Dawn.
You too. And great talking to you too. Thank you so much for watching The Edge. My name is Donna. You can find us on television channel 182 on Charter Communications. That's local to North Alabama. Abundance Television, which is found worldwide on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Amanda, for being on the show.